just kicked my bag.
Maybe don't leave it in the walkway.
What's your name tag say?
Ladies, what's going on here?
She kicked my property.
Is that true?
I barely touched
That's enough. Abby, you're relieved of duty. Hand in your badge.
What? You're firing me?
Effective immediately. This is ridiculous. Security will escort you out.
Ma'am, I'm so sorry for the inconvenience. Thank you.
A black CEO boards a flight after a long, exhausting day. She's dressed sharply, her mind full of meetings and deals closed, but nothing could prepare her for what would happen next. As she places her expensive bag in the overhead compartment, a flight attendant abruptly yanks it, slams it to the floor, and storms off without explanation. The passengers glance, some whisper, some stare, but no one speaks up. Her heart pounds, a mix of confusion, anger, and humiliation. Why did this happen? Was it a mistake or something more? Within moments, the entire flight dynamic shifts, and one small act ignites a chain of events that will expose bias, injustice, and accountability. What happens next will shock everyone on board. Watch until the end. Wait a second. Tell us where you're watching from in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this. It was supposed to be an ordinary business trip. Maya Thompson, a 38-year-old CEO of a tech startup, had spent years building her company from the ground up. She had navigated boardrooms, negotiated multi-million-dollar deals, and earned every bit of respect in the corporate world. Today, she was flying home after a grueling week of presentations and investor meetings. Dressed in a tailored suit and carrying her sleek black leather bag, Maya approached the plane calmly, mentally reviewing the next day's schedule. She was used to traveling alone and quietly, never expecting trouble, never thinking that a brief moment in an airport could turn into a personal nightmare. As she stowed her bag in the overhead compartment, she noticed the flight attendant staring at her, cold, unyielding. Something about the glance felt sharp, off. She shook it off, attributing it to stress or fatigue. But deep down, a small voice whispered that this was more than a coincidence. She was about to confront an invisible barrier many black professionals face, bias hidden in plain sight, in moments so brief they seem almost impossible to challenge. Maya's bag slammed to the floor with a thud. The sound echoed through the cabin. She froze, her hands mid-air. Passengers turned, eyebrows raised, murmurs spreading like wildfire. The flight attendant didn't apologize. Instead, she crossed her arms, watching Maya as if daring her to speak. Shock turned into anger. Maya had traveled thousands of miles, negotiated deals with the most influential people in the country, and yet, in this moment, she was treated as though she didn't belong. She tried to remain composed, but her mind raced. What had she done to deserve this? Did her presence make someone uncomfortable? The humiliation burned, sharper than any physical pain. The murmurs from passengers grew louder, with some whispering about the CEO and others questioning the staff's behavior. Determined not to let it slide, Maya calmly approached the attendant. She explained who she was, her credentials, her achievements, but her words bounced off the barrier of prejudice. The flight attendant's smirk hardened, the coldness unyielding. Every fiber of Maya's being screamed for justice, for recognition, for acknowledgement that this treatment was unacceptable. Then, just as tension seemed unbearable, another staff member approached. Whispers of a manager being called rippled through the cabin. Maya felt the strange mix of hope and dread. Would anyone intervene? Would the airline uphold fairness, or side silently with discrimination? The entire plane seemed to hold its breath as passengers leaned forward, waiting. Every second stretched endlessly, charged with anticipation. And in that moment, Maya realized this was bigger than herself. It was a test of accountability, a mirror of society's deepest biases. The senior flight supervisor arrived, a calm but firm presence. She asked the attendant to explain her actions. The cabin went silent, tension palpable. The attendant stammered, flustered, caught off guard. Maya's pulse raced, a mix of fear and vindication. Could the injustice she endured finally be addressed? Then, in a move that stunned everyone, the supervisor didn't just lecture the attendant, she terminated her on the spot. The announcement reverberated through the cabin like thunder. Shock and disbelief flashed across passengers' faces. Some gasped quietly, others whispered in relief and admiration. Maya felt a surge of emotions, validation, relief, and an undeniable weight lifted from her shoulders. The attendant's departure was swift, yet the impact lingered. It was more than a disciplinary action. It was a public acknowledgement that racial bias, even subtle, would not be tolerated. Maya sat back, breathing deeply, her heart still racing. The injustice had been confronted, but the scars of the moment would linger. She had survived, yes, but she had also witnessed a rare, unflinching act of accountability in real time. By the time the plane landed, Maya's story had already begun to circulate on social media. Passengers shared their perspectives, praising her composure and highlighting the airline's swift action. Maya felt a mix of vindication and exhaustion. She had been humiliated, yet empowered, witnessing firsthand that standing firm against injustice could lead to real consequences for perpetrators of bias, but the incident also reminded her of the countless moments that go unnoticed. Those invisible microaggressions. These subtle discriminations never see accountability. She thought of every professional, every traveler, every person who had silently endured similar indignities. Her story was one battle won, not the war. As she walked through the airport, Maya carried a quiet strength. The world hadn't changed overnight, but she had forced it to pause, to confront uncomfortable truths. And she knew her experience could inspire others to challenge injustice boldly, calmly, relentlessly. The question lingered. How many times must such injustice occur before society truly sees the cost of bias? Share your thoughts and let us know. What city and country are you watching from? Take care.